Well, hello YouTubers on this beautiful sunny day. Hey, today I'm going to show you how to take off this wheel, the brakes, the brake pad, and get down where we can take the brake caliper off and eventually pull this rotor off, because a lot of people have had some issues getting the retaining bracket off that holds the rotor on, and that rotor will not come off unless you take that retaining bracket off. So it's pretty easy to do, and let me just show you here what tools we're going to need. Basic stuff. Get you a little wire, maybe a clothes hanger. You'll need a little socket set. We're going to be using an 18 millimeter and a 15 millimeter. Get you a big screwdriver like this so we can kind of force those brake pads back. Get you a little pipe like this if you're going to be using just a regular little socket like this. I know tools that are very expensive and a lot of people cannot afford big half-inch, three-quarter-inch ratchets like these. These are anywhere from $25 to $30. So I know a lot of you don't have a lot of big tools, but I'm going to show you how to do this just with some basic tools. Now, two optional things you might have to have, but I doubt it. Have a hammer on standby and a little bit of a heating torch so we can loosen up maybe a couple of bolts. And of course, for video purposes, I've already got the wheel off here. I've loosened up the bolts, so here we go. I got the car jacked up, the SUV I should say, and I got my jack there, and you can see my two supporting car jacks under there. And first thing we want to do is go ahead and get our socket set up here, and we're going to be using a 15 socket here to take off these bolts right here. Now, if you can't get these loose, sometimes you might have to take a hammer and just kind of go in here, tap these just a little bit, but usually they break free fairly easy. And the first thing we'll do here is go ahead and loosen this up, get it broke loose. Okay, there's one, and there's one on the bottom right about here. I think you can see that. Get that one broke loose. All right, and once they break loose, if they're not really rusted, they usually come right out. So we'll go ahead and unscrew this. I am holding the cell phone in one hand and I got the tools in the other, so we'll see how successful I'll be here at this. And now we'll go ahead and pull off this bottom one right here. And the sun may be a little blinding, so I apologize for that, but I think you can kind of see where that is on the back of the caliper, right about there where my finger is. That's where that comes out. And we'll stick that over here. And now you'll have to take your screwdriver, and this helps out a lot. Just get in behind these brakes here and kind of force them back a little bit. Push those pistons back in to the caliper, and now we can typically just take a screwdriver, pry these off just like this. And now get your, don't take it all the way off just yet. Get your little clothes hanger, kind of fish it up around the top of this part of the vehicle. Let me set the camera down and put that wire in here. All right, so we got a little wire there, and we'll take our caliper here and we'll just kind of hang it up on this wire here, just kind of help us out so it doesn't hang down. And of course, again, I'm going to have to get my other hand here free. Okay, now you can see I got the caliper hanging on the wire. Now at this point, we'll go ahead and pull these brake pads out, and they slide out like this on this Expedition. I mean, yeah, this is an Expedition. No, this is a Ford Explorer, the Expedition I just finished working on. Slide these out like that. Set those off to the side, and you got these little clips here. Be careful, try not to lose those because they keep the brakes from rattling. Now I've got the wheel turned all the way to the left. Next thing we want to do is go ahead and grab another socket here. We need a 18 millimeter. We're going to go ahead and break loose these big bolts on the back right here. These are two 18 millimeter big bolts. Now, like I said, if you have one of these little ratchets, sometimes you can break them loose, but a lot of times you can't. This is where the pipe helps. If you don't have a big bracket, if you don't have a big breaker bar, this really helps out a lot. So here we go. We're going to try to break this loose. Won't go. So we'll keep getting it up. Still won't go. So I'm going to take my hammer and kind of hit this a little bit. Try that. Stick this back on here like this. Get my pipe, and here we go. And they're broke loose. All right, once you get these two bolts off, your job is just about done. You'll have access into your hub. If you need to change your front wheel bearing or anything. And there that is. Pretty big bolt. Like I said, it's an 18 millimeter. We'll sit this down, and here is the other bolt right there. Go ahead and put the socket on it. And see if I can do this with one hand. Nope. So this is why we got the pipe here. Helps us out quite a bit. And then we have to stick this in here like this. Pull this back there like this. All right, here we go. All right, we got her. So we got this one loose. Go ahead and take this out. And now you can see this retaining bracket. There's a technical word for it. I'll put it in later. Go ahead and get this bolt out of here. Do this with one hand. Pull the bolt out. There's the bolt. And here comes the retaining bracket. And there are those little clips that you got to be careful, not bend, not loose, because they are anti-rattle clips for your brake shoes. And now we'll go ahead and pull this rotor off. Now a lot of times these are stuck on there. If they are, get a hammer, just hit it right here. Hit it a bunch of times. Now if you get into a situation where it won't come off, sometimes you'll have to get a big bolt and stick back here. There's a trick. I may do a video on this later. You stick a big bolt back here in the back like this. You put a nut on the front of it, and you turn this, and this will force this out like this, and this will often get these rotors off. And here we go. And we got this off. Oh, it's pretty heavy. And there it is. And the reason we have to take it off, check this out. It is shut. I'm going to have to replace it. So this is why I've got this off. And if you have to do the same thing, this is all you have to do. At this point, we have access into our wheel bearing. If we have to change it, there are 3 bolts on the back. And there is our ABS sensor. I have other videos on my channel on how to replace all this and get into it. So there you go. That's how you take all this apart to get into this. And looks like I'm off to the parts store, or perhaps I'll jump online and just order me another rotor. But definitely check your rotor. You can see this side is not too bad, but this side is trashed. It is shot, thanks to the previous owner who didn't want to put brakes on it. So there you go, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Until my next video, be safe, and I'll see you guys later.